Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. Welcome to the the new moon solar eclipse that we are happening in Aries. It is happening on the 19th of 20th, depending on where you are in the world. Here on the Eastern time zone of the United States, it is happening on Thursday the 20th at 12:13 a.m. Just moments before. So I can't remember. It is something like the moon gets into your sign about 15-20 minutes later, and then before the hour is up, we also have the sun moving into your sign. So happy solar return to Taurus. So these readings, I encourage you, a couple of things. I encourage you to hang in there with me, because as I slide deeper and deeper into your energy, there is so much high vibrational energy going on in this place right now that it picks up speed, and a lot of stuff is coming out, and I can't remember it because it's so deeply channeled. So hang in there. So quickly before I do that, on Facebook I did a meditation and an explanation, a deeper one on the astrology around this and why it's so powerful. So you guys have here the card of alignment and the earth. Right? There is this realignment that is happening. So we're going to have the sun moving into your sign. You got Uranus there, you've got Mercury there, and there's this alignment, this nurturing energy. This is you coming into alignment and becoming more grounded. And so as the North Node is currently in your sign at 5 degrees, as it is getting ready to move into spending the next year and a half in Aries, as it is starting to happen, then we're wrapping things up. We're starting to get the hint of it, because this eclipse energy is happening in Aries. And so then there's one that happens, an eclipse during your sun sign on May 5th, but it's actually in Scorpio. It's a full moon eclipse that is happening there. And then you have one more eclipse happening, I think it's October 28th or 26th, something like that, over in October. It's a full moon in your sign. And so there's still this completion of energy that is moving. There's this energy, you're coming online, they're saying, and into an alignment with your soul's purpose, with what it is that you are seeking to achieve. And so this card says here, inner integrity, being a vibrational match for what you want to bring into your life, and manifesting from a place of love over fear. Manifesting from love over fear. Energy flows where attention goes, subconscious sabotage, and seamlessly actualizing your dreams. And so if you are operating from desire, from hope, from love, if those are the energies you are using to choose to make choices and decisions from, then that means you are in flow with spirit. If you are operating from the fear of failure, or of letting go, or it's always been this way, or an unwillingness to let go, then that energy will block, stifle, delay, stop situations evolving for you. You have here the card of the sun, which is great because the sun is moving into your sign even as you're viewing this, because these are not even going to make their way out into the universe of YouTube until after this eclipse happens. And so as that happens, we have the sun. I lead with my light. So as you make choices and decisions based on the heart and what lights you up, what gets you excited, you become more and more into an alignment with this energy. I love all the rainbows in this, because I feel like there's been, oh gosh, last year in particular, right? All the stormy kind of energy that comes through when you have the North Node in your sign, but it was all the square that was going on between Saturn and Uranus, which was hanging out in your sign. That was a lot of tension, a lot of jolting energy that happened. And so this realignment, you kind of needed like the bigger push, right? Because you're kind of, well, I don't want to be mean. Okay, they're saying you're really stubborn, so bullheaded. Okay, I guess we can all agree that's probably very true. So looking after the planet, the ebb and the flow of life, the loving embrace of Mother Nature, and the natural beauty of death and decay, the macro and microcosm, time and nature, ancestors, grow through weathering storms. I think that's the key right there. Grow through weathering storms, nurturing yourself and your heart so that you may flourish. I think that's the key here. That is where you are coming into alignment. As you release things to let go, the decay provides nutrients into the soil, right, for new things to grow. So as you're willing to release and let go of things, so let your light shine, who you truly are, what you truly want. And if you lead from your heart, the the solar plexus here, those right below the heart, and it is the power of your creativity. It is your personal magnetism. It is what draws and attracts, right? It lights up your world, but it also lights up the world around you, and opportunities will be drawn to you as opposed to you having to run and chase after them. Well, that's super interesting. Okay, so here we go. So this is kind of a Celtic cross, but it's a little different. So when the North Node moves out of your sign and it moves into the next sign, that is a period of integration. That is a period of integration. And so for the next year and a half, you are going to be integrating the lessons and the things that you have learned. And so that it feels like coming into the alignment. It's the stabilizing. It's the, okay, things are new and they're different. And it's finding your feet, right? So it's almost as though you've been on a rocky ride. Okay, so like they're showing me a ship in the ocean being tossed around, right? And then the ship finally it looks like it limps its way into port for repair, and you get off of the ship, and you don't have your land legs yet, and so you're a little wobbly. And that is kind of what the next year and a half is going to feel like in some ways. So you're going to come out of this ready to find your feet, and to but you need time. You need time to acclimate to the new landscape that you find yourself in, the new way you feel about things. But the thing is if you are following the joy and the light in your heart, if you are chasing your dreams, if you're going for what it is that you really resonates with you on a deep soul grounded level, right? Because we have this nurturing the earth. So this is the tending to the crops. This is the taking care of the new landscape that you find yourself in, the ideas that come to you, the things. This is allowing yourself to find who you are now. There's a rediscovery that is coming through with this. And wow, that is Capricorn had that in the exact same place, and somebody else did too, and I can't recall. So that's the third time that this card has shown up in the house of others. And so that means that there are decisions being made around you that will affect you, but you have no control over. I think that's really important to understand. You cannot choose for other people everything. You can't choose whether or not they decide to move on, or there could be a decision to close down a business, or to reassign you to a new place to work, or a different department, or there feels like there's some major decision that will affect you on a very overarching level, right? It's called the Lovers. Somebody is trying to come into an alignment with their goals and their purposes and what action to take to do that, and their decision will directly affect you in some way or the other. So that might be why there's like this swept storm going on here, right? Maybe you've been trying hard to hold something together that someone else has decided to let it go with the energy of this eclipse, right? So because you have some big transformational cards happening here. So your overall energy here, is the fighting card of the Knight of Swords. I feel like you've been really fighting to hang on to something, to keep things. This is also a card. This looks like arguments. This looks like quick decision making. It feels like it feels like you've had your back up against things for a while. It could be an internal disagreement that you are having with yourself, lots of rapid thoughts, and you've been fighting maybe your instincts about something. And I think that there is a need to take action. Oh my God, there's a need to take action. I know I need to make these changes. I know I do. I think I do. But you know what? If I do that, it's kind of comfortable where I am. I like the job I have, even though I think I could make more money somewhere else, or I would have better hours, or I like this. I don't know how I feel about this relationship, but I like being in a relationship, and I don't want to have to go through, the whole process of leaving a relationship and having to find a new place to live, or if you're divorced, then what do we do with the kids and the money? And so there is something that you have been inside of yourself really struggling with the decision, and I think that decision comes to you very quickly, like I think somebody else decides, but there's been a lot of disagreement around this, either within you or with another person. And I think things with this eclipse energy is such an explosive energy. It's going to bring everything to a head. In Aquarius, which squares your sign, which is difficult energy. We have Pluto sitting right there at the 0 degree point. And so that will really, in an air sign, really amp up the arguments that are going on, or the rapid thinking, or just all this energy. It just feels very, fast moving thoughts maybe. But there's lots of verbal exchanges. It's very, gosh, it's really uncomfortable for me. I don't really like this energy at all. So can we move on from that? Okay, so now they're showing me how that opposes what's going on. Athena, Pallas Athena is at the last degrees of Capricorn. So she is actually opposing this. And Pallas Athena is like, choose from your heart, the wisdom of the heart. Use the wisdom of your heart. And Pluto sitting there at the 0 degree of Aquarius is like lightning quick thinking. And she's like, but you need to process it through the heart. It's okay to have all these thoughts, but process it through the heart. What is it that you really want and desire? And those two energies opposing each other are both squaring this powerful eclipse, this big shifting of energy, this explosion of energy that is really going to shake things up. And on top of that, there's a lot of other energies that are involved around. Again, on Facebook, I went into that. I'm not doing that here. So there is a lot happening there. And out of this is what you get. What is this eclipse energy for you? You have the seed. You have the seed of intention. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have the new opportunity. It is going to need to be nurtured and grown. It's going to have to be cared for on a daily basis. You're totally capable of doing this work. This is something you're comfortable with. So the thing is that's really interesting to me is that there's been this almost like sitting on the fence, refusing to make the move because of the discomfort of making a move. And you have the card of the 9 of Cups is the energy that you're kind of coming into this eclipse with this, and it's literally called laziness in here. It's like everything is, I don't want to deal with it. Everything is fine, even though he's sitting there by a chessboard. He's sitting right there by a chessboard, right? And so he could be strategizing. He could be doing things that, it's just, I'd rather just sit here in my own space. To get up and think about how to do things differently is really hard. And yet here comes this Knight of Swords going, nope, time to make some choices, time to make some decisions. And so the thing that you're moving away from, that you're letting go of, is so fascinating. You have the 7 of Swords, which is called politics in here. This is the false faces. This is the having to say the right thing at the right time to the right people to appease them, to make them, here on one side, it's manipulative energy, the way it's depicted in here. I don't always get that off the 7 of Swords, but you can't miss it here. This guy over here, he is scheming behind his back. He puts a brave front forward. So let's just say, let's talk a relationship for a second. It's like, okay, so this relationship could be with your boss or a coworker or a significant other, okay, or your child. But there's this energy around, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna do what I want behind their back, but I'm going to just put on the face. So it's the, oh my God, I just heard yes, dear. Ooh. Like, they're like, blah, 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 blah. Can you do this, this, and that? And you're thinking, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that work. I don't want to do whatever. I'm going to drag my butt. I'll tell you I'll do it. I'm on board. See the little mask he's holding in front? Everything's okay over here. So you're moving away from that energy, which is great. And it may not be you. It may be the other person doing this with you. So I don't want you to think I'm throwing this at you, but that is the energy of this. There is somebody who's being deceptive, saying one thing to everybody else and not doing the other. That being said, they could be appeasing you, which is allowing you to feel like you don't need to do anything. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I have to take action, right? And this could be at work, right? It could be lots of places this could be happening. But we have this emotional 5 of Cups energy that you're also moving away from. That is the emotional regret. I shouldn't have taken this job. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have sold that property when I did. I shouldn't have invested in that when I did, because there's an emotional attachment to it though. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're emotionally attached to the job or whatever, but there's it almost feels more like this emotional energy attached to how you view yourself as someone who may have made what you consider to be a poor decision. And the thing about it is life is just merely a bunch of choices, and we learn and we grow from them. And if we beat ourselves up over making a decision that would looked and seemed like, based on the information we had at the time, a really good idea, then you can't be mad about that because you've learned and you've grown. And honestly, if you hadn't made that one, if it was a lesson you were supposed to learn, you would have been in another situation, maybe down the road, when you would have less time to recuperate or rebalance. And so however that worked out, I feel like it was on divine timing and something came through that you really, really needed. And so with this energy, the North Node here, you get the transformation. It is the ending, it is the completion of a cycle, and it is the rebirth. And this rebirth feels very much like this rebirth inside of yourself that, hey, I'm really worth it and I really got this together and I'm fine. Like leaving behind this negativity. So the challenge here is the Two of Cups, the friendliness, it's called. So I want you to notice these two trees are growing side by side and their branches are interlocked. And so if a really strong wind came, the one would kind of hold the other one up, but they are not leaning on each other. They're there for each other. They're not leaning on each other. And so that's the challenge. The challenge is to find a situation, whether this is a job or a business partnership or an intimate partnership or even like a relationship between a parent and a child. How can we interact in a way that is comfortable but not codependent? And so it's always good when you work for somebody who appreciates the energy and the effort you put in, and they give you what you need, the training and the skills, and then you can feel good about yourself when you exceed your own personal expectations, and they are recognized also by your higher up, and you can translate that whole conversation into a relationship. And so there is something here about finding that balance of I don't need, but I enjoy where I'm at. And so in the process, you do have this opportunity to do a lot of soul searching, which is the North Node in the sign. When it moves past yours, it's the integration period. It is the period of the Hermit. It is what lessons have I learned and how have I grown, and really seeing things from inside of yourself on a different level and really integrating all the lessons and the changes that have come through while the North Node has been in your sign on the inside, on a very spiritual level, that then allows you to shine your light out, because the Hermit is about finding the light within, and this card says to let that light within shine out. And so it is a process, an integration. And so as you come out of this North Node phase, as it's moving into Aries, you're going to find that it's almost like a small dim light that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and brighter. And by the time you complete the cycle of integration, you're going to be like, wow, I feel so much better. So give yourself the time and the space. That's why I say, like, especially if it's about a relationship, give yourself that year and a half to figure out who you are and what is important to you and where your values are now. Where are you now? And so your advice, you have this, first off, this is the opportunity, and your advice is the inner voice. It is the high priestess. And so you are definitely being invited in. You're being invited into yourself to learn the lessons of your higher self and of this past experiences and figure out where have you grown. And Pallas Athena is like wisdom of the heart, right? What have you learned? What have you grown? How can you apply it in the future in a way that really benefits your life? And so in the energy that we find you in, we find you doing the work, the daily work, the Eight of Pentacles, the getting out there, the ordinariness of the day, doing what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you need to do it. And that is very grounding, right? That is centering. That helps you to come into alignment, this nurture energy here, nurture nature. This is the ordinariness, the doing what you need to do helps you to come into alignment with yourself, helps you to center. You are a very large, right, presence, the bull, very large presence, but he needs all four on the floor to feel stable. And so allowing yourself to stabilize by doing things that are repetitive and comfortable. I know that when I'm stressed, I clean. I mean, it is just, it's soothing to me. It's soothing to me to go and scrub the crap out of something. So what is it that works for you? There's this throwing yourself into a project, yes, but at the same time, don't just throw yourself into a project. That is what you do, those 8-10 hours a day. Okay, 12 maybe, because I know you. But that is also creating space to do this work also. Maybe you take longer showers so that you have that time to yourself. Maybe after work you go for a nice long nature walk. Maybe you sit down and you journal at the end of the day, about what you've accomplished and what your goals for the next day are. That can be very meditative. But there's also this need to find the quiet, to find the solitude. And so maybe before you go to sleep at night, you wind down by playing some kind of soft music and just letting your mind wander, right? As you wind down for the day. So figure out how to bring all this to yourself, to give these gifts to yourself. If you follow the advice of using this eclipse, this opportunity, this new thing that's coming to you, you have the Page of Wands. Yes, it is the Page of Wands, but it's called playfulness. So you will find more joy. You have the opportunity to complete something. You have the World. It's called completion. It's putting the final pieces in on you. It is finding all of the pieces of you, completing the picture of who you are. And then you have the Three of Wands. This is growth. This is opportunity. This is experiencing new things. And so you have these completion energies here, and you have these transformative energies, and you are being invited in to bring yourself into alignment, into that quiet space. And so you are undergoing major shifts and changes. Allow yourself to feel a little unstable, a little wobbly when you get to the dock. You will find your feet. You will become grounded. It will be a process. Allow time and space for the process to unfold. Don't feel like you have to rush it. But for you, I think that it will be in finding the quiet time for yourself, and also in keeping yourself in a routine that feels comfortable and safe for you. Both things will be true. And then I want to encourage you that as you feel more and more stabilized, that you look for opportunities to have fun, right? So I want to say, if you are coming out of a relationship, generally what happens is everybody gets in this mode where they're like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a lot of fun and do all those things I couldn't do when I was in a relationship. I want to say, if you want to do some of that, but don't go overboard with that. That will throw you completely out of balance, and you will miss this opportunity to really integrate where you should. And so it's almost more like you can be, okay, so they're showing me a guy that went through a breakup, and that integration process for him was not jumping into the dating scene. It was he's working out. He's watching his diet. He's getting himself buff, and then he's gonna go find a girl. So I think that's kind of a typical cycle, and I think that is that kind of thing. So whether it's a relationship you're stepping away from, or a career choice or decision, something that may or may not actually be fully your choice, but it's a situation that you see coming. You know it. You may have been trying to avoid it and ignore it, but I don't think you're surprised by it. It doesn't feel like a surprise. You don't have the Tower here. I don't think you're surprised. I just think that time has come. So, all right, Taurus, I hope you found that helpful. If you do, please let me know in the comments section below. Hit that thumbs up. Thanks for hanging in there with me, all of you that made it this far. I know Taurus likes shorter readings. Guys, take great care. I'll talk to you soon. And again, happy solar return to you.